Yes, it's John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jails. And this is the first Tales from the Jail in the reign of King Charles III. Yeah, God save the King. The Elizabethan era is over 70 years. I lived through the lot of it. See, I was born in 1949, yeah, and Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne in 1953, and recently she's passed her spirit, and I absolutely do believe that she did a brilliant job. Did her duty right to the very end. How many of us can say that? Yeah, but she did. And I'm sure that King Charles III will as well. He seems like a sensible man at times. So I want to talk today about G4s, yeah, and the staffing of HM prisons. I mean, the very idea that we would, in Great Britain, privatise our prisons and effectively appoint a privately owned company to exploit inmates for profit is an absolute disgrace. Whoever thought of this should be taken down the block and introduced to Bootsy in his prime. You could say something like, "Are you ready? You've got 10 seconds to tell me why you should privatise the jails, and then I'm going to give you the best hiding you've ever had in your life." Something like that, you know. Just get it out into the open and slap the bastards, yeah? Seriously, it's bloody disgraceful. Where are we? China, what will we be doing next? Harvesting their organs? Oh yeah, this one won't live. Take him away. Injection, right? Get that heart out. That looks all right. I'll have the liver, a couple of kidneys, yeah. Throw the rest away. It's useless. That's what they'll be doing next. Wouldn't surprise me. I was told that they're using G4s staff at prison service-run prisons. I mean, and they're going to have to do this kind of thing because the pay rate is just ridiculous. 1974, when I applied to join the prison service, a prison officer was being paid more than a police constable. And they had a rank structure. It went from basic grade prison officer, blue collar officer, senior officer, principal officer, chief officer, and chief officer grade 1. And a chief officer grade 1 was the equivalent pay to a superintendent in the police. Yeah, you've all seen that film, the TV series Line of Duty. Have you seen that? Well, the guy who runs the the police investigation department, the one who talks about the little donkey. Yeah, he's a superintendent in that TV series. Well, that is the rank that chief officers were. They don't have chief officers now. I like to think that I was possibly a little bit instrumental in that, because in the 1970s I was telling all the staff on national television and in the press, that on the radio, all the lot, that you can't have senior management or management running your trade union, because the treasurer of the Prison Officers Association was a number 1 chief officer from Dartmoor. Seriously. The chairman of the Prison Officers Association had been a principal officer. Yeah? Now, you can't have management running your trade union. At Strangeways Prison, go and have a look at the BBC documentary Strangeways. It's out there on YouTube. Yeah? In Series 3, it shows the rotunda, and it goes to a man in a white shirt with his hat on, standing in the rotunda next to Norman Brown, the governor, yeah, and it says something along the lines of, this is Principal Officer Brian Baldwin, who is the chairman of the Prison Officers Association. And then in a subsequent clip, it shows Norman Brown, the governor, with number one chief officer, yeah, and they're sat down, the governor sat down, Norman Brown sat down, and the chief officer stand next to him, and what are they doing? They're planning on prosecuting me. And they've got a book of the regulations, and they're going through it saying, what can we charge him with? And they subsequently did. And guess who found me guilty? Norman Brown. Yeah. Judge, jury, prosecutor, the full lot. Yeah. He didn't win, though. You see, I absolutely had a rough idea what I was doing. I appealed to the Secretary of State that it was beyond the authority of the governor to prosecute me under the disciplinary code for promoting the trade union because it breached the Trade Union Acts. And the Trade Union Acts supersede any internal or disciplinary procedures that may be brought, so they couldn't do it. So it was thrown out, but it was only thrown out at government level, and I'm sure that they didn't want to do that. Yeah, seriously. Anyway, today we've got G4s staff, yeah, that are supplementing, the standard prison officers. Why? Because they can't recruit prison officers because the pay is just so it's just so low they can't get them. I was talking the other day about the prison at Milton Keynes, which is just on the periphery of London, yeah? You're not going to get people in that area working for 30,000 a year. They can go to the city, yeah? And they can get 45,000 a year as a car park attendant, yeah? Now, who's going to risk their life walking the landings, yeah? and it is a risk. A lot of staff being assaulted, a lot of staff being put under pressure. They haven't got enough staff to deal with it. So what they're doing is they're leaving the prisoners locked up. That'll do it, eh? Yeah, Luke. Yeah, that's the management thinking, you see. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just leave them in the cells. They're all right. They've got a television, got an Xbox. What more do they want? No education going on. The education's not going on. I mean, a good 60% of the prison population are semi-literate. Probably 10% are totally, utterly illiterate and innumerate. They have to be corrected. That's what's causing recidivism. Because when they come out of prison, they are beyond hope. They can't get a job. They can't do anything. They've got a criminal record. Who's going to employ them? There are exceptions, of course. But it's the exceptions that make the rule. Let me tell you that. I've seen one or two have come out, done brilliantly well. One of the people I have met, and in fact worked with for a time, was Mark Leach, who ran the union, not the union, it was like a charity called Unlock, yeah? And he set that up with the writer and TV presenter Stephen Fry, yeah? And he ran that with him. And it was really successful. I believe it's still going today. And Mark Leach has written many books. One of them I highly recommend that you should read is A Product of the System. You can get it, it's not in print, but there are copies out there. Have a look on Amazon or eBay. A Product of the System by Mark Leach. And Mark Leach is a remarkable man. I mean, people say to me, who's the most dangerous prisoner you've ever met? Mark Leach. Not because he's big and aggressive, not because he can batter you, no. He's highly intelligent, and if you get on the wrong side of Mark Leach, then you're going through the courts, and it will not stop until you lose, because he's got a master's degree in law, you see, which he got in prison, by the way. So that's just to show you that education in prison can turn people's life around. So read Mark's book, A Product of the System, and you'll get an idea as to why I believe that education in the prisons is, and it should be, compulsory. You know, they shouldn't be sat in the cells playing Xbox games. It should be like going back to school, and you don't get out until you're literate, or if you are incapable of being, then you're taken to an institution where you're properly cared for. because you can't survive in society. Anyway, and that's a great deal why people commit offences. But the problem with the G4 staffing is that they are unqualified staff. They are not properly trained. They have no experiences, and very often I believe they've been thrown into the deep end. And people wonder why there's assaults in prison. Anyway, it's that time now. I'm going to actually give you a treat here. Yes, that's a song dinger you can hear there. The song dinger, and first of all, I'm going to read you one of my poems. You'll like this. Seriously. It's from my book, Flowers and Collected Poems by John G. Sutton, which is available on Amazon, by the way. I'm going to read you only a little poem here. It's called Mr. Pontin's 59. There you are. You see, in the 1950s and 1960s, it was very big, very popular. Holiday camps. Don't seem to have them as like they used to do then, but they were massive, thousands of people. You see, it came from being in the army. When they were in the army camps, they came out, they went back to a very similar kind of situation, except people were doing silly things like knobbly knees contests and beauty contests, and they also had a muscle man contest, and each year they had a Mr. Pontins. So this is how I imagined the man who won Mr. Pontins in 1959. It's called Mr. Pontins 59. His arms were like iron, his fists were like steel. The girls were all shouting, "Give us a feel!" His jockstrap was bulging with muscles so thick, when out from the side popped the end of his dick. The girls were ecstatic. One shouted, "It's mine!" And that's how he died, Mr. Pontins, 59. That's in my book, Flowers and Collected Poems. So they're not all serious poems, are they? I'm now going to sing to you, so all those of you who are objecting to hearing me make this horrible noise, which is going to be horrible today, I have got that feeling. But let me have a little sip of my coffee. You notice I've got that pirate voice back. I'm going to use it to sing this song. Oh, not sing it, I'm going to destroy it. This song was made famous by Billy Eckstine. It was also quite a reasonable hit record for that perverted bastard PJ Proby. But it is absolutely a song that I like a lot. I still like this. So I'm going to do my best with this. It's called I Apologise. If I told a lie, if I made you cry, when I said goodbye, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, dear. I apologise if I caused you pain. You know, I'm to blame. I must have been insane. Believe me, from the bottom of my heart, dear, I apologise. I realise that I've been unfair to you. Please, let me make amends. Don't say you forgot the love we knew. After all, we were more than friends. Give me back your glance. Give me back romance. Oh, give me one more chance. Forgive me from the bottom of my heart, dear. I apologise if I made you blue. Well, honey, I've had the heartaches too. Now I'm begging of you, forgive me from the bottom of my heart, dear. I apologize. There you go. I reckon you don't need to apologise. It's dead. Thank you very much. Tales from the Jails. Do like and subscribe if you enjoy this. I will be back. And don't forget, I'm going to do another live broadcast. Yeah, on the first Tuesday in October. See you all then. Thank you very much. Well, before then, I'll be back.